What's up, YouTube? I'm making everybody's favorite form of content. Today, I'm making a tier list. It's going to be a tier list specifically about mid-boss. This is going to be mostly about the contest and securing of rejuves, and the fight directly after. This isn't about killing the mid-boss. It's about, the actual fight. I'm making this tier list because I feel like a lot of people are scared to go mid-boss, especially in lower ranks, but even in high ranks, people are like wishy-washy. And I think most of the time you should just rip it, especially if you have, as we'll find out, high tier heroes on this list, and the other team doesn't. So yeah, I'm just going to get right into it, and I'll explain my reasoning as I go. So I'm going to start with Abrams. Abrams is, I'm going to put him in the just do it category. So the categories are game changing, you can force it. This is basically saying that, obviously depending on the situation, but in a lot of situations, you can force it sits on sits. I would only do it if you had 2 or 3 of the people in the top category, but still, just do it. It's going to be when you are up 1 or 2 kills, even net worth. They provide a lot of utility in the mid-boss pit. Good is going to be people, who are good. As we get lower down, it's going to be more about people that are good either situationally with the secure or good with damage during the fight. These are the top 2 are about both. This one is going to be mostly damage for sure, and then bad is either going to be people who get no benefit from the geography or situation, or people that are hindered by it. So Abrams is really good at the secure with his shoulder charge and his ult, especially his maxed out ult, which is unstoppable, and unstoppable in the pit is obviously really useful. He's not top tier to me because you are almost always going to max his ult either last or second to last of your abilities. So the ult is pretty late game, but the shoulder charge is always useful. He might even be up here, but it depends because he is one of the very few people who can counter Dynamo ult in the pit. But yeah, he's just really good at it in general. Apollo, I'm going to put either good or meh. So Apollo's ult, I think he's overrated in it, by the way. Apollo's ult is decent in the mid-boss fight because it will usually trigger on everyone and silence them. But Apollo is a lot in the animation for a long time after, which is both dangerous for him, and it makes it so he has no participation in the parrying or the punching of the actual crystal. So in the actual contest, he's kind of mid. I feel like you could do everything you want to do with him with a silence wave. If you're really good with silence wave. So yeah, I think he's kind of bad at it. Maybe hot take, probably not. Okay, Bebop is, I think, really underrated. I'm going to put him in the just do it. So I have the game pulled up. I'm just going to show you why I think he's in just do it. It's pretty obvious though. But using his beam on the stairs is honestly really oppressive. His beam does insane damage and is a good zoning tool, so you should do this while the mid-boss is being killed and or while you're trying to secure it to make space. The other reason is if you want, you can just go in and explosive uppercut people off of the crystal, and that will get them off it. It's unparryable, it's great displacement, slows them down, or hook if you want to shut down a specific person. So I think in general he's just really insane. Billy, I might have to put Apollo here to be honest, because I'm just going to probably put Billy in good. Maybe just do it, but in general I value a lot whether you are actionable on the crystal itself, because for instance, if you are in a man disadvantage and you go to contest, Billy is okay, but he's not really going to be in the middle of the contesting because you typically want to use your chain gang to pull them away from the pit. Your bash down will do great damage inside the pit, but it's not enough to make him better than good, in my opinion. Okay, Calico. I think Calico is probably in bad. She doesn't really have anything that benefits it. If you're really good at timing the ult so you're invulnerable, except for the very last second, I could see an argument, but besides that, Calico is better in quick engagements, in and out kind of thing. The long extended fight that the Rejuve contest usually turns out being, I think she's bad in it overall. I think Celeste, I'm going to put her in good. Her 3, the area effect, especially with like Mystic Expansion or anything like that. I don't play this character, but you have Greater Expansion, let's say, and you have this. Whoopsie, this. You're covering a large portion of the pit, and it stats like with every hero hit. So you'll get 2 or 3 stats, and then you can just throw your ball in the pit and do a ton of damage. She doesn't have any utility in actually securing it, except for the silence on her shield, I guess. But I still think she's really good in just doing damage. And if you didn't know, her 3 goes through floors. So like even if you're on the very top and like you... I'm not going to explain it, but this will hit all the way up top, and if you do it all the way up top, it'll fall through the floor. So, yeah, I think she's very good just at doing damage. Doorman is either up top here or here. I'm going to say up here. That might be... yeah, I think he's up there. His cart, usually in a game... Your cart is so fat, it'll just pick up everybody, and you can create a door that will either stun them or disorient them or just get them out of the pit. So if you're dropping down, you can usually get at least 2 or 3 people. If you're the people securing the boss, you can turn off somebody that is dangerous with your ult and also use the cart and your bells. Bell does a ton of damage right now, and in general, it has a slow on mats, and it just does a ton of damage in an AoE. I might move him down later. I don't know if he's like game changing, but he is very good. He might be at the very top of Just Do It. Because game changing is like people that have an insane amount of words, an insane amount of advantage in the mid-boss pit. Drifter, I'm going to put Drifter in meh. His ult is maybe good. His ult is useful. It can be very useful, but if anybody above him is there, the ult doesn't really matter because you don't actually need to know where anybody is when you're Abrams, Bebop, or Doorman. You're just doing it in the middle of the room. And you can also, if you're Drifter, you can, I'm not going to do it on the, I'm not telling the mid-boss, but you can hit the mid-boss. You can hit the crystal with your thing, or... whatever. You can hit the crystal. You can shoot your Stalker's Mark on the crystal and TP to it, and that can be like helpful for, you know, having some change-ups and being able to parry. And your Ren does this. But in general, Drifter, like Calico, is better in one-on-one engagements, or, you know, many-on-one engagements. More of an assassin. So, yeah, his ult has utility. In general, he's okay. Dynamo is game-changing. If you have a Dynamo and he has ult... and it's 20 minutes in, and you don't need any other objectives, or you have 1 kill, just do it. Just do the thing. People are always so scared. This, especially the earlier you do it, Dynamo ult is oppressive. It's so oppressive, because the only hard thing about Dynamo ult, if you're using Dynamo, I don't need to show you this, but the only hard thing when using Dynamo is making sure you get fat ults. So when you're forcing something that everybody wants to get their little goblin-y hands on, it's just, it's broken. It's game changing. You have to force it. Graves, I'm gonna put Graves in Just Do It. Graves is bad right now, so this might seem like it doesn't make sense. But when and if Graves is good, I mean, her whole thing is about area denial. So not only is she good for the contest, she is good for right after the contest as well. So as Graves, just to show you, if you have this up and maybe whatever, let's say no Mystic Extension, you can still put this on the stairs and pretty much make this unpassable for 1 stairway. If you don't want to do that, you can put this directly on top of the mid-boss and the Reju Crystal, which will obviously stop them, but also right when they respawn, let's say the enemy team just Reju, and if they respawn on top of the wall, they get locked down again. And the route is just crazy. And then, obviously, you can put your ult in pit right before, and it just does a ton of damage. And, obviously, if you build Ricochet build, everybody grouped up at once, in conjunction with the rest of your kit, it's really good. Right now, she's not great, but if she's ever decent, especially her spirit side, I think she's crazy in the pit. Great talent, I'm going to put good. Again, so you have utility with your trap and your ult. With your trap, it's good if you're the people starting it. If you're contesting, it's not as good. And the owl is okay, but like I said already, I am much more in favor of people who are there for the contest, because I find it like when you have to rely on your teammates, especially in matchmaking, only in matchmaking, pros talk about it. Matchmaking, you just, it's a slobber knocker. But yeah, when you're controlling the bird and you're not punching or parrying, like you're relying on your teammates, I don't like it at all. But obviously he still has it. But during the fight, he's also not great, because as GT, you typically want to be high up, outdoors, that kind of thing. I don't love it. Hayes, bad. Hayes can't, obviously, Hayes buys Unstoppable, and I was alluding to this earlier, and Unstoppable is just a great item for mid-contest. If she has Unstoppable, it's in Just Do It or Game Changing, but just her kit, again, she's more of an assassin playstyle. You can shut down one person with your knife, but everything about your kit just screams one-on-one, one-on-one, one-on-one. You don't want to go in the mid-boss, typically, unless you're just cracked, or have Ricochet, or have Unstoppable, things like that. Holiday, I'm going to put meh. The barrel knockups can be okay, and it's an AoE ability at least, and Lasso can shut down one person. I still don't love it. Also, I know this is very, time specific, but Holiday is terrible right now, so she doesn't have much impact. I'm still not going to let that, factor into the ranking. I think even if she was good, it's still around here. Maybe if her barrels are, insane, it'd be up here. But I still think it's around here. And Furnace, I'm going to put in Just Do It, mostly for... Okay, I highly value anybody that can disable Dynamo ult, and Furnace is, one of the few people who can do it. If you time it well and Dynamo ults and your ult goes off in that time period, it's really good. Flame Dash it forces people to stand in your Flame Dash, which is very good as well. Maybe he's top of here, but I still think he's here. Ivy is game changing. Again, one of the only people that can counter Dynamo. And you, level 1, you have insane mid-boss secure with your Gargoyle, Kudzu, Kudzu, the other one, Entangling Thorns. Does a ton of damage. It makes people sit in it. Your ult provides large AoE damage. She's just great at mid-boss. Kelvin is the same way. If you have a Kelvin on your team, it's very similar to Dynamo, where not as much anymore, but getting impactful domes is one of the hardest things about Kelvin, and mid-boss makes that a lot easier. It forces your team to fight their team at an advantage. And he has complete control over when the Reju descends or not. Just game-changing. Geist, probably... Nah, I guess meh. The bomb can be good. And the silence on your ult can be okay, but still nothing crazy. Lash, I think this might be a hot take, but I'd put him in meh. Okay, don't get me wrong, Lash ult can be good, but I feel like Lash ult is only really good if you have a man advantage already. And if you have a man advantage already, it's not as impressive to me. It's the same thing as I was saying, where you're relying on your team to secure while you're distracting the enemy. That dots points in my book. And then directly after your ult, Lash wants to be outside, and you're trapped inside, underground. I don't think it's the ideal situation for him. And I've played a good bit of Lash, and I've seen a lot of people play Lash. I feel like the timing on his ult and the way that mid-boss secures work, it's not as impactful as it feels like it could be. And also, I know I'm not letting items factor into this too much, but because his ult is so easily counterspellable, it feels bad when people can counterspell you and then still... I mean, you could say that about Ivy too, but I think you feel it a little bit more as Lash, because Ivy brings extra utility, and even if you do counterspell her, she's still right on the crystal. Lash is not. McGinnis is probably good. McGinnis ult firing into the pit, insane damage, and if you set up turrets ahead of time, also crazy, and the ult provides a good way to separate teams, cause a little bit of CC, yada-de. Mina, I'm putting in meh. Her ult is okay. in a group setting, but I still think it's better in a, like, you're focusing one person and gunning down. It's similar to Hazel in that way. It's not an actual AoE ability. It's just a targeted, or like it's a circular single person ability. It's better than Hazel in that sense, like, because it isn't actually a single person targeted ability, but it's similar, if that makes sense. And then besides that, she doesn't have any kind of utility aside from that. To be honest, this list is going to be mostly like, you know, support up top and carries on the bottom with some nuance. But I still think like this is useful for showing in a format when you shouldn't be scared and when you should be scared to go. Mirage, I'm going to put in probably good. He has CC, he has... I'll put him at top of the map. He has CC in his Tornado and also iframes and vulnerable frames. So he's not going to get hit by other things that would stun everybody else. But he is still... I'm putting it up here. He is still a little far away from the rejuve. That's actually not true. You might be close enough for a one punch. Like if you're here and you get stopped on this wall, you could still punch right after. So... Or like a dash parry. It's not like Lash or Apollo where you're up here. Okay, what is my game doing? When you're up here, like you are so late for this. Yeah, so I'm gonna put Mirage above them, even though he is a carry, and I still think I think he's better than them. I think these two are very overrated in the mid-boss contest, and I play these two a good bit, and I've never felt like, okay, this is game changing. Mo, I'm gonna put in meh, I think. Yeah. So your Scorn is good in the fact that it's an AoE, and your Burrow is also an AoE. But when you're in Burrow, when you're in combo, you're not a part of the punching or parrying. You're not a PP. So you a puncher or parrier. So your impact isn't as high as it could be. Locking down a single person is okay, but it's not that crazy in the sense of a mid boss, because you're also taking out of the fight. Like, yeah, you're like, it's not a situation where you want your whole team to focus on one person. After the fight it is, but that's not exactly what, like, the scope of this video, I think. Paige, I'm going to put here. Her ult is great, but the stun isn't actually that long. Like, Matt's IV3, Dynamo ult, these things, or, like, Doorman, these things are, like, over a second long of stun. Let me double check so I'm not talking out my butt. But I think Paige ult is, like...
I just hope I'm not too late to save him.
Does it not say? I guess it doesn't say the length of the stun. Okay, stuns at enemies in radius for 1.2 seconds. Okay, maybe it is pretty long. It just feels a little weird because it's more meant to be... So I'll put her a little higher. But it's more meant to be a long range ult, and using it in a... Like, if you do it from long range, it could be good, but then you're not there. And if you do it on top of the crystal, it's not exactly the intended... It doesn't work that well. If you're right on top of the crystal, your ult is going to hit the people in front of you or directly on it. If somebody comes in later, it's not that crazy. The 3 is still good, and the Bookworm are great, for doing AoE damage and some lockdown. But I just don't think she's in the same as the top 4 here, in my opinion. Paradox is really good asterisk. Her bomb does a lot of damage, which is great. The wall is a silence, which is great. And the Matt's ult is crazy now that it takes more than one person with you. So you can theoretically swap out a whole team if they're in the pit. The asterisk is because that's when you have Matt's ult. Before Matt's ult, she's still good. You can even, like, swapping you and one person is good because you're adding a PP to your fight. You are a puncher or parrier and you're taking one out. And yeah, the bomb kind of does crazy damage now. So, and just in general, bomb has done good damage. So I think it is good. Pocket is very, very good. You just fraud fart on people. And you hide in your little suitcase, and you have the iframe, so you can ignore pretty much everybody else's. Pop out of your suitcase and parry, and your disgusting fart is killing all of them slowly. Yeah, he's good at mid-boss. Honestly, never mind. I dislike Pocket. I think his like direction is like, it's lame that they keep making him an affliction bot, it feels like. Because his other abilities are way cooler, but the numbers lean into more affliction, but that's neither here nor there, as they say. Rem, I'm going to put here, maybe higher. The sleep is obviously good. Maybe it's higher. I just find this might be a little unfair, but Rem's sleep is like super easy to counterspell, and the pillow having knockback also adds some utility. The problem is kind of like Lash ults, where you're not gonna sleep directly on top of the crystal. You usually do it behind a wall or at some kind of height, so you're not just bursted down immediately. I might even do like something like this. So you have utility. That might be unfair. I might have to put him here because I've been ranking people not being a puncher or parrier pretty highly, so I'll do this. That feels more right. But yeah, I think he's just okay. Even though he's a support, he's still good. Maybe I'll put him here. Whatever. If you can do mid-boss before a lot of people have counter spells, or if people aren't great at counter spelling Remult, it is pretty insane. Especially because another thing he has over Lash is that it goes through walls. Lash, you have to look at everybody, and if they hide behind a wall or they duck behind this cover right here, let's say Lash is over here.
They're in mid.
Okay, my ping is just going to mid-boss, but you know what I'm saying. Let's say he's over here, you hide here, you dash in and you parry, you're fine. Remult, you're not going to get the same luxury, it goes through walls. 7 is good. The stun is AoE. Later on, the stun is last in eternity. I might even do like... yeah, the stun lasts in eternity, but it has a fuse, so it's a little weird to use. The ult has... I'm going to put it here. I forgot, but the ult has knockback on it, and it's instant. So it's kind of a mix-up, and it's pretty useful. And the ball does just large AoE damage. Like, 7 is kind of like... I don't know, a lot of like high-tier people are like, oh, 7 is noob, stomper, blah, blah, blah. But like, if you have a Fez 7 and he uses his ult in mid-boss, it's pretty good no matter how good you are. Like, yeah, you can use a knockdown, but that's still money and resources you're dedicating to stopping 7. And even after the ult, he has a lot of good tools for mid-boss. Shiv is here, maybe lower here. He has great damage in the pit. That's it, though. He has great damage in the pit. Like, he doesn't actually have any utility in the pit. You know, if you have match 2 and you're just slicing and dicing through people and everybody stands there unless you do it, obviously it's going to be great. But that's just indoor Shiv. He doesn't have any actual utility in securing the crystal. Again, I just want to reiterate one more time. Items change this just as much as the actual hero's kit. So Counterspell, Unstoppable, things like that, Alchemical Fire, things like that are huge on impacting your mid-boss decision too. Silver, I'm going to put in bad, maybe? Yeah, I think I'm going to put Silver in bad, honestly, because she has no real AoE ability. She has 1 in her wolf form, and she has 1 when you max Bola, Entangling Bola, but in general, it's weird playing Silver. And I guess she does have a knockback on her too. Maybe I'll put it here. It's just weird playing her because I feel like when you go in and like you'll just get melted before you can turn werewolf a lot of times. And it's just a little awkward. Your damage doesn't really help. Or the geometry, the geography, the geosphere doesn't help Silver more than it is being outside. So in that aspect, I can't really rate her higher than this, in my opinion. Sinclair is, I think, top tier. If he steals a Kelvin or Dynamo ult or Pocket ult or Ram ult or whatever, it's super valuable. And he has Bunny level 1, kind of like Ivy, like having something that is on a super low cooldown that you can use at any stage in the game is insane for mid-boss. Because at least with Kelvin and Dynamo, you are coordinating around your ult. Oh, he doesn't have Dynamo ult, let's go. But it's never like, oh, Sinclair doesn't have Bunny, because Sinclair will always have Bunny. So that's why I rank him really high. Pretty much just those two things. Like, and I mean, like, his bolts do huge damage if you hit them, but not the easiest thing in the world. Then I'm going to put here. No. Yeah, I'm going to put him here. It's maybe, no, I'll put him here. Gutshot is great for getting people off the thing. And your nades do AoE damage. Yeah, that's all I really have to say. I mean, if they don't get stunned, the Gutshot can be a little weird. But it's similar in vein to Shoulder Charge for Abrams. But Abrams also does have his ult. I'll put... But Venator can do it directly on top of the crystal. So I think it's still... I think it's still good. I think he's still here. Victor... I'm going to put Victor here, I guess. Especially... yeah, I'll put it there. Making people, especially if you can time your death where it's around the Rejuve crystal, is really powerful. The stun lasts an eternity. The damage is huge. Your damage is all about AoE. So, I don't know, though, because he doesn't really have utility. That might be too high. He doesn't have any utility. His damage is... I'll put him here, because Celeste is also, like, talking about damage being perfect for mid-boss, but not having any utility. I'll put Victor there, too. I think that makes sense. I think that's fair. And I'm not doing this live, so your opinion will never reach me anyway. Vendetta, State, Crow, decent. Indoors is bad for her. Yeah, nothing more to say. I think Vicious is up here. Goo Ball and punches are insane displacement and stuns. Cube can be huge for providing iframes to people. And if you get enough splatters, it's kind of insane. I'll put him here. Whatever. Why not? I'll put him here, actually. I'm going to order this a little bit better. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, Viper. Viper's really good once you match the ults. It's game-changing. It's one of the few things that can shut down Dynamo with just an ability. And that's level 1. If you have max level, it's an AoE. And the cooldown's really short. It's really helpful in the contest. There are many times where people think, oh, let's do it. Viper just ruins their day. Warden is, I'd say, here. Great damage. Doesn't really have any utility for the actual contesting. But that's just how it is. Wraith, I'm going to put down here. Yeah, I'm going to put down here. It's just another kind of thing. She's more of an assassin-like character. You excel in 1v1s. Again, if your Wraith is super fed, it has Ricochet, has Unstoppable, that's one thing. But in terms of the actual kit, I think she's down here. And then Yamato, level 1, Unstoppable, relatively short cooldown, like 75 seconds, no items once you are tier 2 ultimate. And yeah, you can pretty much just force mid-boss whenever you want with Yamato, no matter who they have, which is not something anybody else can say. So that is the video. Don't be scared to go mid-boss. Just go. Just do it. 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 If you're up 1, do it. If you're up 2, do it. If you're even and you have 2 or 3 of these guys, just do it. If you have 3 of these guys, just do it. Just do mid-boss. That is the video. Make sure you like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.